What's going on, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into an absolutely insane solar warlock build, and this is something that I've been holding off on because I wanted to do it justice. And after some serious tinkering with fragments, aspects, and just stat tuning in general, this thing cooks. So if you're looking for a solar warlock build that is going to dominate any activity, this one's for you. We're going to break this down from subclass setup, loadout, fragments, and our stats, and why this thing is just insane. Let's start off with breaking down our subclass, and for the super, we will be running Song of Flame. Now, this super is entirely up to you. We're going with Song of Flame because it gives you a massive 90% damage reduction while it's active, plus you are radiant the entire time of your super's duration, meaning your weapons will deal 20% more damage. Now, for the abilities, I'm personally going to be running Phoenix Dive. It has the shortest cooldown and great synergy, but hey, if you like Healing Rift, feel free to run that, because at the end of the day, the cooldown doesn't actually matter because we have insane class ability regeneration with this build. Now for the melee, we are opting to go with Incinerator Snap. It is perfect for triggering Scorch, and the grenade, we are fully leaning into our Fusion Grenade. I slept on this combo at first and I was so wrong because we're pairing that Fusion Grenade with Starfire Protocol. Not only is this a featured exotic, meaning we're getting extra damage reduction because we're using it, it also did get a rework, so its perk does proc just off having radiant kills in general. So of course we're going to get that extra fusion grenade, plus we get class ability energy back on grenade kills, and we will be getting a ton of them. This means all we're doing is throwing our grenades constantly, and with the Touch of Flame aspect, your fusion grenade will now explode twice, more than doubling your damage. We stack that with Helion for our little solar buddy just to help us scorch the baddies. But now here's where the build really comes together with our fragments. First up, we've got Ember of Char to spread Scorch to nearby targets, Ember of Searing, so when we defeat Scorch targets, it gives us melee energy and creates a fire sprite. And when we pick up that fire sprite, it is going to give us grenade energy. Then there's going to be Ember of Ashes, so we apply more Scorch stacks to targets. And lastly, Ember of Eruption, so our solar ignitions have an increased area effect. Now, if you do want to swap any of these out, I would recommend swapping out Ashes for Ember of Mercy. That way when you pick up a fire sprite, not only do you get grenade energy back, but you also gain restoration. But at the end of the day, I wanted to go with a build that just exploded and ignited every single thing that we went up against. So basically how the fragments are going to play out is our fire sprites are just going to help ability spam. We're constantly going to have radiant up, so it is just an insane damage loop just throwing grenade after grenade after grenade. Plus the uptime on our class ability for constant healing is just insane. Of course, going into this, knowing we're building into explosions and just scorching and igniting everything, we had to bring back our favorite exotic, the old trusty Sunshot. This weapon carried me through Pantheon last year. Its exotic trait Sunblast, targets that are defeated with Sunshot explode into solar energy, which is also going to scorch nearby targets. Now for the special weapon, you have a lot of choice, and I feel like it's really open to whatever you want to be running. I personally am opting to go with Mint Retrograde. This rocket pulse rifle is easily the best in slot option right now. And for the heavy, we are further building into our Scorch with the new addition to the Unwavering Duty. It's a new but not so new Trials machine gun, and it has the new perk on it, Burning Ambition. This applies Scorch on sustained damage, and it is great for champions because one, this can stun and ignite unstoppable champions, as well as while you're radiant, it can pierce barrier champion shields. And hey, Trials can be a grind, but it is dropping loot on wins and on losses. But hey, any weapon in your heavy slot, feel free to customize it to your specific playstyle and what you like using the most. But I do recommend this machine gun with Burning Ambition. It is a lot of fun and just builds into the Scorch factor of this build. Now let's talk about artifact mods, because this is what is going to help push the build to another level. First up, we have Flame, Fiber, and Freeze to have Solar and Strand weapon mods into one. So our Siphon mods, 2 birds with 1 stone, we can get orbs on multi-kills on both our Mint Retrograde and our Sunshot, as well as our LMG. Next up is Fever and Chill. So rapid solar precision hits will grant us radiant, but also rapid solar kills will also grant us radiant. Then there is Elemental Destruction. So when we stun champions, it is going to trigger an elemental explosion. Radiant Shrapnel, so sustained weapon damage while we have radiant, is going to launch solar projectiles. It's like a fun little solar buddy, plus any damage procs radiant shrapnel. Last up is shield crust, so while we're radiant, our grenade will recharge faster, plus it is going to deal more damage. Now for the armor, I don't think there's a specific archetype that you need to be locked into going into this build. As long as you're using Starfire Protocol, feel free to toss on any archetype that works well and has the highest discipline stat. After so much grinding, I was finally able to get my discipline up to 200, and that 65% extra damage is just ideal. And I also have my intellect up as high as possible too, so that way we get our super back as quick as we can. Now to break down the armor mods, starting with our helmet. First up, we're using Dynamo, so it reduces our super cooldown when we use our class ability near targets. Then a Solar and Strand dual siphon mod to get orbs of power on rapid kills, plus an added harmonic siphon just to reduce the cooldown of our solar weapons, creating those orbs of power. Now for the gauntlets, we're using firepower to create orbs off of our grenade kills, fastball to throw those grenades farther and faster, and then momentum transfer. Since we have our grenades up constantly, causing damage reduces our melee cooldown is going to be key here in making sure we have our incinerator snap up as quick and as often as we can. For the chest piece, we're tossing on 2 resistance mods to match the activity that we're doing, as well as a strand ammo generation mod, so we can increase the amount of mint retrograde ammo that we get. Now for the legs, we're tossing on Absolution to reduce all of our ability cooldowns every time we pick up an orb of power. Better already, so our health begins to regenerate as soon as we pick up that orb. And then lastly is a solar weapon surge, mainly to buff up our sunshot. Since primaries do feel kind of weak when you get into harder content, that added damage bonus is a nice factor. Then for our class item, we of course are tossing on Reaper. So every time we use our class ability and get a weapon defeat, it'll create an orb, then Powerful Attraction to pick up those orbs within 12 meters. And finally, we are going with Outreach to reduce our melee cooldown every time we use our class ability. Remember, because of our setup, we're going to be getting our class ability back extremely often, meaning this is going to keep a high uptime on our incinerator snap as well. So it's good that we're building into that since we already have both of our other abilities covered. So how does this play out in the end? Basically, we're wanting to throw our grenades as often as possible, igniting targets and scorching others, then using our solar weapons to get the kills off of those scorched targets, which will then just regen back into our grenade ability, as well as getting our class ability back, which again feeds into the high uptime for our incinerator snap, all while just doing tremendous damage, having great survivability. But there you have it. This thing blew away my expectations in both Master Solo and Master Pinnacle content. The uptime of grenades, the healing, and the AoE is just non-stop fun. If you're able to build into that high of discipline, or even close to, you're going to absolutely melt everything in your path. So if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, feel free to subscribe if you are new, and drop your favorite build down in the comments for me to check out. I've got some other spicy ideas I'm cooking up, but I also want to know what you are running in the Edge of Fate. As always, thank you so much for coming and watching, and I will catch you in the next one.